Everything is energy. Let's talk about that. For us to understand how we can manifest our reality easily and effectively, we need to understand the quantum reality model. There are many names for this model, but essentially what this model says is that everything is energy. And it's very crucial that we understand this principle very well. But what do I mean by everything is energy? So if you look at the reality around us, everything may seem so solid. It may appear as solid, liquid, or gas, or maybe even plasma. But these are essentially solid. What I mean by solid is that they are physical in nature. But what this model is telling us is that everything is energy. So if I were to direct your attention to this board in front of me, it seems quite solid, doesn't it? And we know that if we were to zoom all the way in to all the particles that are within this board, we know that this board is made out of matter. That's made out of electrons, protons, and neutrons. But science has discovered that the smallest particles are known as quarks. So essentially we can say that this board is made out of quarks and the spaces in between the quarks, which are known as gluons. So these are essentially the spaces that are between two quarks. So essentially we can say this board is made out of quarks and gluons. So gluons are also just a wavelength. There's a space. So it's not exactly empty. There is a frequency in between two quarks. So essentially gluons are frequencies or waves that hold quarks together. But did you know, if you take the entire Earth and remove all the gluons in between all the quarks in the Earth and put all the quarks together, so we're removing all the spaces in between all the quarks from the entire Earth and putting all the tiniest particles of the Earth together, did you know the Earth would just be the size of a pea? So what does that tell us? That tells us that 99% of the Earth is just space. That only a very tiny percentage is actually solid. And that's the same for this board. 99.9% of this board is just space. It's just a wavelength. It's just a frequency. It's just energy. So everything is energy, ourselves included. So are our thoughts and our emotions, but we will get to that very soon. But then you might ask me, if everything is energy, why can't I put my hand through the board? Why don't I just fall through the floor? It appears really solid. So why does it appear really solid? And let me explain this to you. So I want you to imagine a wheel with spokes. Now if the wheel is stationary, you should be able to put your hand right through the spokes, no problem, right? But now imagine that this wheel is turning. Now, a few things can happen. If you try to put your hand through, either your hand will stop the movement of the wheel, or the wheel will be moving, or the wheel will be moving so fast that it will damage your hand and push your hand out. But now I want you to imagine that this wheel is oscillating or rotating or vibrating at such a high frequency, that to our eyes it appears stationary, but it's actually oscillating extremely fast at such a high frequency that it just appears stationary. Now if you try to put your hand through it, the whole thing will seem solid. Even though it looks stationary to us, the whole thing will seem solid. This is very similar to what is happening with the reality around us. These quarks in everything around us are vibrating at such a high frequency that everything seems solid. Hence why we don't fall through the ground. Hence why we don't notice the fluidity of our reality, which is very interesting. So if we truly understand that everything is energy, including situations that we bring into our life, including how we feel, including what we tell ourselves, including the words that we speak, they're just sound. Sound is a vibration, which is essentially a form of energy. So this is the sort of thing that we'll be dwelling deeper into. When I mean deeper, I mean very deep in this channel. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, click the like button, and hit the bell icon so you're always notified of more and more daily videos. And I thank you, and I shall see you very soon. Take care.